It's time for this week's long run. Join me. It sure was a cold morning, but I was ready for it. My run was only 6 miles, but I've been putting on a vest just to practice running and hiking with the weights. I hate the cold, so wearing gloves helps, especially in the beginning. I absolutely love turtles, so this is an awesome start to my run today. All right, so I don't know my distance because I'm going by heart rate. And in terms of fueling by time. So I'm fueling right now, practicing because I need to practice for the races to see what my gut can handle, and also to train myself to eat while on the go. So I have to figure out what works for me and what doesn't. So my daughter found these honey mustard, onion, I think, you know, the flat pretzels, because she knows I like that flavor, and she got it for me. So kind of just eating it on the go. I can tell you right now that my stomach isn't doing good, but I don't think it has anything to do with what I've eaten today so far. I think it's what my day looked like yesterday, because yesterday I had an extremely busy work day, and then we had to drive almost 2 hours to the UF gymnastics meet. So my fuel wasn't ideal, I think, and I wasn't as rested as usual. I only slept 6 hours last night. I'm used to getting at least 8. So I know that that's gonna affect today, but gonna get the miles in, gonna do what I have to do, and then allow my body to recover. Tomorrow's a rest day, so I'll fill you in as I go. So I'm out here on my run / hike, again trying to keep my heart rate down. So I thought this would be a good time for me to share with you what I'm thinking about at the moment, and put this in my journal so that I can remember. I'm listening to another lecture by Jordan Peterson, this time on authority, Cain and Abel, and all that. And he's saying something that I've actually been thinking about, and my husband and I, Mike, we've been talking about because of a Socrates quote that we heard, of all things, on Amazing Race. And it really got our wheels turning. And it has to do with the concept of good. So I'll just leave it at that to save some time. But one of the things that Jordan Peterson is talking about is the essence of truth, and that good comes from truth. Like, all good comes from truth. And in order for us to live good, right, in order for us to live whole, there must be truth. think about someone who's going to a therapist to go through some therapy. In order for there to be a substantial change in their life, right, there has to be honesty between the therapist and the patient. Both people have to be incredibly honest in order for there to be transformation in the person's life. So truth is essential. We cannot become better. We cannot improve ourselves. We cannot, as I shared in the podcast this week, become more conformed to the image of Christ or reflect God well in his image and likeness if we are not being truthful. And to be honest, today my focus isn't on being truthful to other people. I say, let's start with being truthful to ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. Be honest with who we are. Be willing to take responsibility for the thoughts that we have, for the behaviors that we perform, for the patterns and habits we have, even for maybe some unforgiveness, for some bitterness. Maybe we've been hurt. Like, own it. Take responsibility for that thing. Don't deny it. Don't push it away. Don't read Bible verses or speak Bible verses and ignore the thing. We must confront the truth. We must be willing to be truthful in order to become who we were created to be. So, that's it for now. It's still early in my run. So, but I was listening to that and I wanted to capture it because it's super powerful, life-changing. If we're willing to be courageous enough to be honest and truthful with ourselves. So that's it. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, that's okay. Makes sense to me. See you guys later. Okay, so I have a little bit less than a mile to go. And yeah, so, but I was just listening to something, got me a little choked up. So again, just wanted to share it so I could remember it. Jordan Peterson was talking about, which is so funny because he was actually talking about the phenomenon of like gymnasts and people watching gymnasts and what it does and why people watch it. And last night we went to the UF gymnastics meet, and it really is phenomenal. I mean, my daughter's a gymnast and what she does impresses me. So to go watch these college aged girls do what they do with such magnificence and grace, and to watch them, and it was the first time I was at a gymnastics meet at that level, and to watch the crowd and the audience, I mean, it's so exhilarating. But there were times where the opposing team would perform and me and Alicia would clap, and my husband's like, they're the opponent, and we're like, but it's so good what they did, like the instinct is to celebrate that person, just because they're so good at what they're doing. And it just amazes me. I mean, if you've ever watched gymnasts, it's like crazy. Anyway, Jordan Peterson was kind of explaining the psychology behind it, and it's you know, in reality, the gymnast is bringing order to chaos. Think about when the gymnast is like either flipping around on an uneven bar or going over a vault on a balance beam where, you know, that's difficult, you know, keeping your balance on one of those things, and then on the floor and they're doing all these tricks and all this stuff, right? But in the end, what we call, you know, they stick their landing and they go through all this chaos, this tumbling, spinning, flips, and boom, in like not even a second, they stick their landing and all that chaos becomes order. And then they put up their hands and they express such pride in what they did because they just brought order to chaos. Man, I mean, I don't think most of you are gonna know what the heck I'm talking about or understand why this is just so incredibly amazing. But it's because, again, I've been studying Genesis, the story of creation, and my husband had taught me about this whole concept of order over chaos in creation. And it does not matter who I listen to, who I'm learning from, what point of view it is. Every single person who talks about creation talks about a concept to some degree of order over chaos. And this is the human inclination, is to desire order. No one likes chaos, but to watch a person like a gymnast overcome chaos. And you know, the pose that they make at the end is one of, like, he used the example, he explained lobsters and crustaceans, you know, one of like pride and dominance. And when you know the role of humanity, it was just a beautiful way for me to picture order over chaos, the design, well, who God is in the design, but also then who he created us to be, and why us as humans were so fascinated with the whole concept of order over chaos. And chaos in a way excites us, but we really desire order. So it really always comes down to trying to achieve the order. You know, we can go through chaos like adventure. Like, I love hiking, I love running, I love going through all these trails and stuff. And sometimes I have no idea where I am. Like today I was lost, didn't know where I was. And there's this exhilaration, but then when you find your way and you get to the end, there's this like, you just made, you know, you just got out of some chaos, some conflict, and there's excitement in that, there's adventure, and it's just the way we were designed to be. So that's gonna be it for today. Definitely longer than my last one, but this is something that I wanted to do. This is why I created Runner's Revelation, to be able to document for myself and then for anyone interested the different revelations and what I've learned while I was on my run. Because running to me is not just about exercise or fitness, it's just the part of my growth journey, I guess. And I want to document for myself, but you may be enjoying it too. So I just hope my little rant helped enlighten you a little bit. So yeah, that's it. I'm almost done. I'm about to get onto a wooden walkway. I did feel good today, considering that I only had 6 hours of sleep and my nutrition was a bit off yesterday. I had a really busy day at work with back-to-back meetings, so I tried my best to squeeze in food and stuff, but then we went to the gymnastics meet and had to drive over an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours each way, and things were rushed, so dinner and stuff was just not my usual, but I was conscious about it. But again, off my routine, have to learn how to be flexible. So as you can see, I'm on the wooden walkway headed back to the car. Let me show you a little bit of the scenery. This, my little Floridian jungle. I just absolutely love Florida. I just think it's gorgeous. I love the mountains too. Like, I was in Tennessee, definitely want to go back. When I lived in Washington State, loved it there. When I was in North Carolina, loved it there. There's beauty everywhere, but Florida has my heart, always has. So here, let me show you guys. So pretty. This is a girl who grew up in New Jersey, by Brick City, Manhattan across the river, you know, raised in the city. I just absolutely love anything that has to do with nature. Oh, I feel so good. This is what they call, you know, runner's high, even though I didn't do as much running as I would have wanted to. But my heart rate's been awesome. I've been within the threshold. But did better this week than last week, so that was good. Technically, I was on a little bit of an easier trail today. I traveled a bit to get here. Well, not a bit, but longer than where I usually go, because I wanted to do something different. I also wanted to see the beach. So I'll show you guys that in a second. So that's it for today, guys. This is my running journal, runner's revelation. Thank you for joining me on the 6-mile run. Next week, my run's gonna be a little longer. Don't know where I'm gonna run yet. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. My schedule is really tight, so it's one of the reasons why I don't run with a group. I just have to fit it in as I have time. You know, try to keep that stress level low, because stress is stress no matter what. So to me, this is all about enjoying the journey, enjoying this process, and as long as I'm enjoying it, I'll keep at it. So until next time, have a great week. Bye. Thanks for watching this week's Long Run Journal. Until next week.